Hi everyone, my name's Stephen Handisides, CEO and founder of My Face, My Body and V-Unite. I travel around the world interviewing the latest and greatest experts within medical aesthetics. And I am so fortunate today. I have traveled from New Zealand to come to Daytona Beach to interview the CEO and founder of InSPAration Management in this live studio to interview herself, Dori Soukup, about her latest book release. So I cannot wait to get going on this interview, but just to tell everyone how we met. I think it was at a conference and I was launching something that everyone thought was crazy, was the Global Virtual Aesthetics Summit. It was a virtual conference and Dori felt sorry for me. She listened to me and said, I will present at your virtual conference. And it worked.
Oh, did it ever? You are such an innovator. You did a virtual conference before a virtual conference was ever thought of.
Exactly.
That's what I love about you, Stephen, is you're quite an innovator.
Thank you. And we've done so many virtual meetings. I am, again, just been so excited to actually be invited to come to the live studio here in Daytona Beach at the headquarters of InSPAration Management. But it's all about you, Dori. So we're going to be talking about your latest book, Medical Aesthetics Success.
Yes.
So tell us about your fourth edition. How did you come up? What was the inspiration behind the title of this new book?
Well, as you know, we're all in the medical aesthetics business. And as we work with clients and help many professionals who are entering the industry, success is all what we do. So I figured, what a great title, Medical Aesthetics Success. It just came natural to me. As far as the subtitle, because we do work with so many people that come to us who are in the red initially, our job is to get them to become in the black. So I figured, why not have a subtitle that's your business in the black? Because that's what my team and I all focus on, is helping companies, as you know, all over the world get in the black. So that was the inspiration behind the title.
Great. And look, during this interview, we're going to go through the 12 chapters. There's different areas to all of the different chapters. So I'm really excited, and I'm sure everyone listening is going to be excited about what they can learn just even from this interview. I know they're going to get very, very excited.
Yes.
When we go through it and we break it down and really find out some of those little secrets that you're revealing in that book. So
Yes.
Part one is all about foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So how important is it for medical aesthetic owners really to sort of go back to the basics, really look at the foundation?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about sort of what you cover in that chapter
Yes.
of the book.
Yes. Well, one thing that was very obvious to me is when all the medical professionals go through medical school, one thing that they don't teach them is business. So I felt it was essential for me to start the book with the foundation that everyone needs to build to have a good career, whether they're owners, whether they're providers, estheticians. It does not matter what kind of position they have. And one of the things we find most often when we start assessing a business is the mindset, not only of the leader, but also of the entire team. So I truly dedicated the first part of this book to how to become a high achiever, how to leave science a little bit to the side and focus more about being a professional, being a business success. And that's really what that's all about, that foundation, is teaching them how to really have the proper thought process regarding business, regarding their clients, patients, regarding the team, and how to really program almost their mindset to be more successful. Because a lot of them feel even afraid to even ask for money, or because they are such medical professionals, they feel that all they need to do is basically provide the medical aesthetic treatments and procedures, right? Not so much thinking about, okay, how am I going to also benefit from this as a business owner? And that's why I really focused on it.
Yeah, look, and I think it's really important. The mindset is key, and you talk about the high achievers. I think, in particular, staff, employees really need that leadership, really need that inspiration from the owner. And if they are a higher achiever, you're going to see amazing results, aren't you, from all of the employees following and really buying into that sort of culture.
Yes.
So I'm really glad, we sort of covered the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We also, in the book, you talk about implementing these successful habits.
Mm-hmm.
We all have terrible habits.
Yes.
I know I've got, bad habits, and it's very difficult
Mm-hmm.
to change them.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you're writing in the book about what
Mm-hmm.
business owners can think about.
And that's key, actually, because sometimes we go to autopilot. We don't even realize we have bad habits because we've just done them for so long. So in the habit principles that I would speak about in the book, it's all about how to reprogram, really, again, yourself. First, to assess and see what habits you actually have now. And then what habits do you need to get rid of, and which habits do you want to even enhance more? And it's amazing to me how many times when we go either on site or train a team or doing a coaching session over the phone or over Zoom, it's amazing to me how we start getting to know how people are when they come to you as a client and what habits they already have. And then trying to mold these new habits is truly a challenge sometimes.
Absolutely.
We don't like change, right? And it's the same from the team to the first level management to the leadership. It's really like reprogramming not only the mindset but also the actions, which that's really what habits are. It's your actions that you take on a daily basis, and sometimes they're just not even aware of those habits. So this chapter, I think, is so important to do a self-assessment, to realize where they are now and what they need to do to really become a high achiever through implementing habits. Because once you implement the habits, then it's easy to be a high achiever all the time.
Absolutely. And we talk about change in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's great to welcome change, but especially when you're bringing in possibly different leadership into the practice. And there are some restrictions, and that people pull back or push back.
Mm-hmm.
People not always adopting sort of that change, but
Yes.
I know in the book that you do write about that in terms of some really nice strategies of how to deal with change, whether you're an owner or an employee.
Yeah.
So,
well, gaining buy-in is very important, and I think that's one thing from a leadership aspect, how to implement change. And you almost want the team to be part of that change instead of just you going and enforcing. You want to gain buy-in. And when you gain buy-in, you're going to have a much more successful strategy going on and change going on in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So part 2, this is such a huge subject, is marketing and positioning. Now, you're always, again, sort of emphasizing the importance around sort of marketing and positioning, and this chapter, it's a big one. So tell us a little bit about what practices can do really to set that correct strategy and improve that positioning that we've got.
It's actually really sad when we assess again whether it's on online presence, their website, their social media, all the tools, marketing material like their menu. It's amazing to me how you go to the website, it's one color, one style, then you go look at their menu, it's another color, another style, then their business card is fluorescent.
Yeah.
So it's all like a wild, wild west. So it's very important because in today's world, it's all about positioning. It's all about your image, how you present yourself, how you show up, your voice. Those are all such important parts of success. And sometimes they're so busy choosing a laser over how can I position myself to attract the affluent consumer or to attract consumers that can afford what I have to offer. So it makes a big difference. And the other thing I see that drives me nuts, frankly, is all the stock images that people use. You go from one website to another, and they all look the same. Like you see the same images over and over. So one thing we teach is differentiation. You have to differentiate. You want to be the only choice. You want to be the best choice for consumers. And that's so easily done, actually, if you know what to do.
Yeah.
So we have really spent the past 20 years perfecting not only the business model, but also the positioning, the differentiation. And that is really, truly what it would take to succeed.
Yeah,
it's not that difficult.
Yeah, and you think it would be, everyone would have figured that out.
Yes.
The basics of marketing, just keeping colors consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it always, well, it actually doesn't shock me today that sometimes when I see practices, they don't even have a website.
Yeah.
And they're still figuring
they tell
out
you, I
whether
have
they
an
need a website.
Instagram.
They have an Instagram, right? So, yeah, just still getting over that mindset
Yeah.
of, do I need to be online? And as we know, I mean, that's really the future, and we've moved on really from websites, and we're going into this Web 4.0 now. I mean, it's just, it's getting more and more immersive online. But I think also with regards to positioning, I think, as you mentioned, I think it's really important that we try not target everyone. I mean, depending on the area you're in, what type of treatments and procedures that you're actually administering, really depends on that target audience, doesn't it?
Yes.
And
well, actually, for the last few months, we've been focusing on that. The thing about the medical aesthetics industry is you have to have consumers with discretionary income. You can't just market to everybody because not everyone can afford the treatments that they offer. So it's only probably the top 20% of the population that can truly come to you and purchase between $2,000 to $10,000 in programs, which what we like to see happen. And that is so important to know, and so important to know who exactly you are marketing to. And they all go out, they hire marketing companies, they spend thousands of dollars. They don't even track. They don't even track to see, okay, who are these clients that are coming in? And then they realize that they can't afford what they have. And that's when all the price war games begin, and they start discounting and doing Groupons and doing sales and driving themselves crazy trying to come up with promotions that will sell. But if they would focus on targeting the affluent to begin with, then they don't have to play those price war games. And that's really our focus with our members, our clients, is we teach them how important it is to know exactly who that target market is and how to go find them and get them to come to them and purchase and repurchase from them over and over.
And I just wanted to lastly bring up about using stock photos. I've seen a number of practices all over the world really invest in photography, and I'm not sure if you've seen this over here in the US, but a couple of practices have actually had a day where they take photographs, they invite their existing patients in. And we're not talking before and after photos, we're talking after they've had a treatment and getting them really dressed up, giving them a makeover and actually taking photos, maybe outside, lifestyle photos. I mean, that's great, isn't it? I mean, have you got some advice on how practices...
Absolutely. Actually, this is one of my big pet peeves when we assess before and after pictures, and everybody does this. I'm telling you, it's like they all copy each other. They're doing it this way, let me do it exactly the same way. And it's the wrong way, and they all copy the wrong way. So you go to any website, I'll guarantee you right now, we can pull a couple, and there's like the before and after picture is like this big. And it's before, and you have to put before and after on it to see what exactly they are saying. Instead, what we like to teach is, what is it that this person had? So first you say, meet Dori. Dori came to us with loss of elasticity, hyperpigmentation, fine lines, wrinkles. Here's the treatments that she had. She had Botox, she had fillers, she had laser, she had this, she had that. And here's her picture now, all made up, looking absolutely gorgeous, right? And then her testimony below it saying, oh my gosh, I came to XYZ Med Spa. They helped me so much. I was so unhappy with this and that. And look at me now. If you too feel the same way, I so recommend them. And that's how to present a case study or a before and after picture. Not these little tiny little pictures. It's ridiculous how badly they represent their transformations. It's sad.
Yeah, and look, I think that's what leads us on, to the next part of that chapter is around videos. You've got hundreds of videos.
Yes.
You've seen me. I used to have a video production company. I think we must have filmed probably 10,000 videos for practices, because video is that next step. It's more realistic now, whether that's filming patient testimonials or filming treatments. Why are you not seeing practices today, med spas, not using videos?
It's actually very easy. They're just wearing so many hats. They don't make time for it. It's not a priority. They're not listening as good as they should be listening, because really I have built a multi-million-dollar business on videos and speaking and educating, webinars. I mean, that's my marketing strategy. Speaking at conferences. And those are the things that actually we cover in the Millionaire Circle seminar, is how to, again, position yourself as the expert through video, speaking, conferences. And when they realize that they can do that, it makes such a difference in their business. But, they're coming along. Like, we have some members now that are finally, they're getting better and better. And now with YouTube, you have shorts videos. They're only 1 minute long. Actually, we're using a strategy right now. We're taking all of my Dori talks that we do once a month. And one of my team members here takes that Dori talk and then chops it down into 1 minute videos. So we're repurposing all of our content through YouTube and through all the other social media platforms with one effort. So I take the Dori talk and then everything else gets done from that. And those are the things that we teach. And if they would take off some of the hats, you don't need to be the accountant. You don't need to be the provider and the manager and the CEO and the CFO and all that. You really don't. You need to start giving some of these jobs away. So then you can really focus on what's most important, and that is your positioning and you as the expert.
Yeah, that's a great summary. And I think when practices are doing their content strategies, if they're filming video, then they can, as you say, splice up the video and use it for their other social media platforms.
Exactly.
You can repurpose, but it does make me laugh how you've got someone actually editing now all of your content. You've got so much content. I've never known anyone that's had so much content. They're going to be there for years.
We've been doing videos, actually, Stephen. I was doing videos. I think my very first video on YouTube channel must have been, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago.
Right.
So I remember my backdrop. Now we're sitting in the studio, right?
Yeah.
I remember my first backdrop was not even tight.
Brilliant.
And you could see the hairstyles.
Yeah, absolutely.
From way back then. But I love doing videos. I think that is the smart, and the YouTube is free.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing part to me, is they would rather go spend thousands of dollars with a marketing company that's bringing them crap that can't afford their treatments over doing some videos and attracting the people that really can afford them.
For sure. And look, I suppose one bit of advice for everyone listening is that you don't need a professional crew to produce, just simple content in and around the practice, but lighting and sound is key. So if you can get that right, but again, you can be shooting things on your phone. It's consistency, isn't it?
Yes.
Of producing.
Well, that's
content.
the whole thing, And it's so key. I just did an entire webinar. Actually, it's on YouTube on all how to improve your positioning and attract the affluent. So if you like to go and watch it, it's a great presentation on attracting the affluent.
Great. So chapter 6, we dive into the biggest mistakes professionals make in their marketing. Now, we all make lots of mistakes, and I think it's important to make mistakes to be able to learn and grow from that. So what would you say would be maybe 2 or 3 some of the biggest mistakes people are going to really resonate and relate?
Again, it goes back to how they present themselves. Inside marketing, internal marketing is non-existing. I would be on site doing an assessment, and I'll hear a client passing by and say, "Oh, I didn't know you had this. I didn't know you did laser hair removal. I didn't know you had hydrofacial." That tells you right there, there's no internal marketing at all. And that's the most economical way to market to people already walking in the space. The other one is not doing smart marketing on social media. I think many of them miss the offer opportunity, miss the call to action. Instead of just focusing on just a pretty picture here or there, you need to make it meaningful so you can gain a lead out of it. And the third is really has to do with leads. Like, to me, one of the most important thing in a company that determines your growth is how many leads are actually coming into your sales funnel. Often I ask an entrepreneur or a medical professional, how many new leads do you get actually in a day, in a week, in a month, a year? They don't even know. It's so, to me, it's unbelievable that you don't have the pulse on your business if you have no idea how many leads are being generated every single day. And to me, that's really the foundation. Not only we talked about the mindset, we talked about being a high achiever, but from a marketing standpoint, it's all about lead generation and making sure that those are qualified leads, because not every lead is created equally.
Yeah.
So
sure.
those probably would be the most common mistakes as far as marketing is concerned, I think.
Yeah, that's great. And look, we all struggle. I mean, metrics, just brought that into my own company, is understanding your business, taking ownership, understanding, as you say, leads, but learning the metrics behind it. What does that actually mean? Leads, what's our conversion rates? But I know it can be very overwhelming. How much is it
costing you per lead? They don't even know the cost per lead.
Yeah, exactly. So look, reviews and testimonials, this has blown up. We know over the like 10, 20 years, a lot of like Google reviews, there's everyone's doing reviews, but it's an extremely powerful way, isn't it? For people to, I mean, actually, like just coming over here, looking at hotels and you're checking all the reviews to see which ones are good. And so how is that important for medical aesthetic practices?
It is everything.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting to me is that often they don't ask. They don't ask for them. And, God tells us, ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
So that's really all they have to do is ask.
That's right.
But there's no systems, no strategies in place, whether to give the person a card when they're going away, or what I teach actually is setting up a video camera in somewhere in your medical spa with your backdrop or something, and asking them on the spot to go. And of course, you're not going to do that if you just peeled someone's face off, but it's a good place to get in the habit of asking for testimonials, especially video testimonials. Like if you go on our YouTube channel or our website, we have over 100 video testimonials from people saying how great our material is. And when you have that, it's so much better than me sitting here saying, oh, we're so great, right? You have other people saying you are great. That is the best thing for you and your business. And that's what I really encourage them to do. Get those video testimonials, get written testimonials, get those reviews, get people talking about you. Because that is exactly how a consumer is going to make a decision whether to choose you or someone else.
Absolutely.
No, so key.
That's great. Yeah, getting other people to talk about you is the best selling, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That you can do. Oh, that's great. That's
great.
Yeah. So we're going to dive into part 3, guest experience and retention.
Yes.
This is something I'm extremely hot in around, how do you deliver a 5-star customer experience? Yes. How do we increase retention? And so competition, we know is fierce. Whether that's even in your local area, there could be, especially with some of those popular treatments, that everyone's doing it. So how do you differentiate yourself? Yes. So how do we turn clients into lifetime customers?
It is all about the experience. I mean, look at what Howard Schultz was able to do with Starbucks. When they first opened up, they thought he was out of his frigging mind that he's going to charge $4 and $5 for a cup of coffee. Remember that? Everybody thought he would. But when he was doing interviews when they first launched, he's like, if people were asking, well, how dare you charge so much for coffee? He's like, but I'm not selling coffee. I'm selling the experience. That's exactly what he was selling.
Brilliant.
And that's why Starbucks is so successful today, is the way you go in to get your coffee is different than somebody else's. Of course, now you have to wait a little bit longer because they're so much more successful.
Yeah, exactly.
But truly, it's from the minute your guest relations team picks up the phone how they answer the phone, to how they invite you in for a consultation, to how they make the reservation. That's all. It really begins there. And then when they come into your facility, how do you check them in? What's that whole experience? So we talk about touch points. And what we teach to all of our members and clients is that you have to really orchestrate the experience in such a way that it's going to make me say wow at the end. It should be filled with little surprises, unexpected little surprises that, yes, at the end, I'm going to say, wow, this was very unique. This was a great experience. And that's what we need to get. When you do that, you will have lifetime clients. And that's really what we want, because your marketing cost is going to get reduced. Your value of each client is going to increase. Your team is going to be busier. They're going to be able to be more productive instead of sitting around twirling their thumbs. And the clients, your patients, your guests, they're happy because now they're truly feeling that you are taking very good care of them.
Yeah, that's great.
It's not rocket science, really, Stephen. It's just a matter of planning and being systematic and having good structure and good culture in your place. And when you do that, people are going to come back.
Yeah, look, and I think also those business owners that are thinking about selling, but the business is all about them, need to start, as you say, follow some of those strategies of yours about creating those systems around customer experience, because getting people to come back for that rather than that individual is problematic, isn't it, when they come to sell?
It should be all about the business. It should not be just about the individual, that's for sure.
So we always talk about retention rate. Explain a little bit about retention rate.
And it's amazing to me, so many people don't even track it. It's like, how can you run a business without knowing what your retention rate is? So you get so many new clients. When do they come back? How often do they come back? How much money do they spend with you? So what we teach is you should really be tracking an annual retention rate, dropping off 1 month, picking up a new month, and then monitoring that rate. And so if you have a medical aesthetics practice, I mean, if you're doing that wow guest experience we were just speaking about, then your retention rate should be 75, 80%.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
And if it's not, then something is definitely missing. They're delivering what I call indifferent guest experience. That means your team is going through the motions. They're just doing this, a little bit of that. They don't really care. They're not passionate. They're not showing the love, the care. And that's why people don't come back. It has nothing to do with price. People think it's price. It's never price. It's all about how you make me feel, how you take care of me, and what are you doing as far as added value to make me feel special so I can come back.
Yeah, it's so true in many ways. Look, I love the subtitle that you had, your business in the black. And I suppose that leads us through into chapter 10, where we talk about how financially healthy is your medical aesthetics practice. So what do you think, I suppose, the biggest challenges for med spas, in generating revenue and sales? What do you think the biggest challenge is?
I think the wrong pricing is one, because again, they're trying to compete on price and they're not charging enough. Therefore, their profit lines are slim or barely existing. So according to statistics in our industry, many associations have published statistics. An average, I don't like average. I don't know how to spell average, but the average medical spa does about $1 million to $1.2 million, maybe, top average $1.5 million at the most. So if you're thinking about doing about 5 to 10% in profit, you're talking about maybe making $100,000, $150,000. That's like nothing these days, right? It's difficult to run a business, take all that risk to make $150,000. That's not even worth it. So to really succeed in medical aesthetics, I feel you have to generate at least $3, $4, $5 million in revenue a year, and your profit margin should be about 15 to 20%. Now it's worth the risk, worth making the big investment, the headaches, the stress, the belly aching, all the tension, the pressure. But the reason they don't succeed is because a lot of them are addicted to spending money without having money coming in. again, they're more interested in buying equipment. They get addicted to buying equipment. Their overhead is so high, and that's why their profits are not as they should be. But if they are careful about how they structure their business, make sure their pricing are high enough, and then you are going to be much more profitable.
Yeah, that's great. And I suppose that leads me on to online revenue. How many of you at home, are using the power of the internet to generate revenue? So
not many.
Yeah, tell us just some of the
Not
strategies.
many.
Don't give too much away because
Yeah.
people have got to purchase and read the book.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
how important is it now for practices, med spas to be generating revenue
Well, I
online?
mean, face it. I mean, everything is online now. That's why Amazon is one of the biggest online shopping. I mean, does that give you a clue?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to have a shop at least. Have a shop, even if you don't sell online, feature your products and your treatments online so people can know about them. But no, you could generate, we have a medical practice that we speak with down in Miami. One of our members, actually a high achiever member, they do about $1 million in revenue a month.
Wow.
Plastic surgery and medical spa. And it is so important to have an online presence. He's doing all their consultations for their plastic surgery is all done online. They do online consultations.
Yeah.
So think of all the revenue they are generating just from doing online consultations. Forget the shop, forget everything else, just that. There are so many opportunities they're missing out on.
It's super exciting. And I suppose it leads us to chapter 12, which is reoccurring
Oh, my favorite.
models. I know this is one of your favorite.
My favorite.
So I know you can talk forever about
Yeah.
this. So, I mean, why?
No, I just want them to do it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the power and
Yeah.
the ability of reoccurring income models. I think just giving people a better understanding of it, and maybe just a couple of the initial strategies that they can,
Yeah.
get going on.
Well, I love looking at other industries, Stephen, and see what really works. I mean, the first people that started recurring revenue was the gym memberships, and everybody was buying a gym membership. So when we started working with first spas, initially resort spas, as well as day spas and medical aesthetics, and sometimes they just work way too hard. There's no reason to work so hard. Because I look at the business two ways. I look at the business as brand new revenue coming in, your a la carte business, if you will, and then you have your recurring revenue model. So if you can generate enough income from your recurring revenue model to at least take you to your break-even point and beyond. I mean, we have clients generating 6 figures a month just from recurring revenue. So imagine there's no pressure, no tension, knowing that you're going to make at least $100,000 this month from just your membership model. And then all the new clients that come in, they should all come in, be given a customized program anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000 and beyond. So now you have a real good, financially healthy business. But if you're just focusing on just the one part, then you're totally missing out on this. And again, we want to take one client and turn them into a lifetime client. So this is the other piece of turning a lifetime client into one, is that they are on a membership. They're paying you every single month. They come in, you take great care of them, and then they go on. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
it's something that we practice as well. So of course we have a membership model. We have many members all over the country, all over the world, actually. It's great.
So before Dori says too much more about what's in her book, is how do we get this book, Dori? How do we find this book? How do we learn about all your secret strategies?
Well, one way to get it is by going to InSPArationManagement.com. It's going to be right there on the homepage. Or, of course, you can go on Amazon and also get a copy. Make sure you leave us a review. We love reviews. And enjoy it. I would love to hear your feedback, whatever your thoughts are, what your takeaways are. We would love to hear from you. So enjoy it. I did it for you.
So my final question, and I'm sure everyone's asking, is what's next in Dori Soukup's life?
Oh, you don't want
Is
to
it
know.
the Dori Show? Come on, what's next?
I don't know. I'm gonna be doing more shows, Stephen. I really want to do some fun stuff. Maybe more entertaining.
Yeah.
I'm going in the show business with you, Stephen.
There you go. I knew it. That's why I just thought I'd get a report on camera saying it. So, no, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know how busy you are. Just spending some time. I've been, it was an easy read. It really was. And I managed to, you know how many planes I'm generally on. And it was a great book. So for any of you that had a little taste today, make sure you pick up Dori's latest book. And she's obviously got 3 more. So if you like that one, buy the whole bundle. I'm sure there's a bundle discount.
Yeah.
Dori's all about that. Bundles. So
bundles, but added value, no discounts. Thank you so much, Stephen. It was a pleasure being with you today. And thank you, everyone, for being part of the industry and always adding value. And I want to thank my team for also contributing to the book and to our success. So I couldn't have done it without them. So thank you so much. And I look forward to hopefully see you at one of our events or some of the conferences that we attend. So thank you so much for being with us.
Cheers.
Cheers.